गच्छन्ति तामसाः सर्वद्वारेषु देहेऽस्मिन् प्रकाशः उपजायते ज्ञानं यदा तदा विद्यात् विविद्धं सत्त्वमित्युताः। सत्व का आधिक्य होना चाहिए, तो फिर दो काम एक साथ होंगे। करो आज का तो मेरे साथ।
It's 20 hours.
श्रीमत् शंकर भगवत्पाद रचितम जगन्नाथाष्टकम। कदाचित् कालिंदी तत विपिन संगीत कवरः मुदा गोपी नारी वदन कमला स्वाद मधुपः रमाशंभु ब्रह्मामरपति गणेशार्चित पदः जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पथगामी भवतु मे भुजे सद्ये वेणुं शिरसि शिखि पिञ्छं कटितटे दुकूलं नेत्रान्ते सहचर कटाक्षं विदधते सदा श्रीमद्वृन्दावन वसति लीला परिचयः जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पथगामी भवतु मे महाम्भोधे स्थिरे कनकरुचिरे नीलशिखरे वसन् प्रासादान्तः सहजबलभद्रेण बलिना सुभद्रा मध्यस्थः सकलसुरसेवावसरदः जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयनपथगामी भवतु मे कृपापारावारः सजलजलदश्रेणिरुचिरः रमावाणी सोमस्फुरदमलपद्मोद्भवमुखैः सुरेन्द्रैराराध्यः श्रुतिगणशिखागीतचरितः जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयनपथगामी भवतु मे रथारूढो गच्छन् पथि मिलितभूदेवपटलैः स्तुतिप्रादुर्भावम् प्रतिपदमुपाकर्ण्य सदयः दयासिन्धुर्बन्धुः सकलजगतां सिन्धुसुतया जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयनपथगामी भवतु मे परब्रह्मापीडः कुवलयदलोत्फुल्लनयनः निवासी नीलाद्रौ निहितचरणोऽनन्तशिरसि रसानन्दो राधा सरसवपुरालिङ्गनसुखः जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयनपथगामी भवतु मे न वै प्रार्थ्यं राज्यं न च कनकता भोगविभवे न याचेऽहं रम्यां निखिलजनकाम्यां वरवधूम् सदा काले काले प्रमथपतिना गीतचरितः जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयनपथगामी भवतु मे हरत्वं संसारं द्रुततरमसारं सुरपते हरत्वं पापानां विततिमपरां यादवपते अहो दीनानाथं निहितमचलं पातु मनिशं जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयनपथगामी भवतु मे इति श्रीमत् परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्याणां गोविंद भगवत पूज्यपाद शिष्याणां श्रीमत् शंकर भगवतां कृतौ जगन्नाथाष्टकं संपूर्णम्.
Hello and welcome to this inaugural edition, this orientation session of Essentials of Sanatan Dharma. I would like to invite the chief curator of this entire program, Shri Shashank Chaudhary sir. Shashank sir, आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत इस कार्यक्रम में. आज स्नान पूर्णिमा है जगन्नाथ भगवान की, उसके बारे में शशांक जी, शशांक दादा हम उनको बहुत प्रेम से कहते हैं, वो उसके बारे में चर्चा करेंगे. इससे पहले हम ये कार्यक्रम का विधिवत प्रारंभ करें, एक प्रस्तावना देने का भाव है. और why essentials of Sanatan Dharma under the aegis of Rethink India and especially under the banner of the School for Future. Last year, when this COVID pandemic broke down, Rethink India thought of creating its own School for Future, because everyone is talking about the whole VUCA syndrome, the volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity in a big way. And the way these majestic transformations have happened in our daily lives. So as a part of this School for Future narrative, कि भविष्य को अगर हमें जानना है, उससे कोपिंग अप करनी है, तो कहीं ना कहीं हमें अपनी फाउंडेशंस को तलाशना होगा. Somewhere or the other, this remained our philosophical thought that if we have to really explore, be the explorers of the future life or of ours, of this human life, we have to somewhere look back and also explore upon the foundations of our very civilizational being. So while being in India, by being in Bharatvarsha, as this nation is called, And in today's epoch, which is an era of conflicts and confusions and whatnot, so is there a way out of it all? So we just look back and we have a personal grounding into it, that whatever we call it as Hinduism, our religion, our way of living, एक बहुत ही द्वंद है इस देश में कि धर्म और religion as it is known in the West. So in India, we are known with a very generic term, Sanatana Dharma. And so we just felt like, why not have a small program, a kind of a signature program which is delivered by a savant like Shashank Dada, who is a disciple of an authority par excellence. In fact, our viewers would be astonished to know that even before the institution of Pope came into being, we had our glorious institution of Shankaracharya, Adi Shankaracharya, whose datelines, again, as in many of the cases, there are a lot of controversies associated, and our colonial masters, they were master geostrategists. They created that confusion and created a date of Abhinav Shankara as the date of Adi Shankara. That's another matter of our own. So we just felt that from the frontiers of faith, from the fountainhead of faith, can we really bring about a content, bring about an introduction to our civilizational self? तो उसी उपक्रम में this essential of Sanatan Dharma एक छोटी सी पहल है. Much of it would be revealed by जो हमारे कहते हैं कि गुरु जो स्वयं है, जो शशांक दादा का गुरु तत्व है, वही हमको उस ज्ञान के तरफ लेकर जाएगा. And as we can see in his own introduction, that he is a formally educated and a very refined personnel in his own fashion. He did his honors in English literature from University of Delhi, and he joined the banking sector in 1980, and that was a year I was personally not even born. So Shashank Dada joined his professional world at that point in time. And then he joined the technological sector in the year 2000. That's the kind of, I would say, freshness of work he continued. And he remained in the global banking technology projects, and he has been a pioneer in financial inclusion initiatives for the last 14 years. And after his superannuation from these technological and banking and all these, the so-called HAP sectors, he is devoting all his time in curating Sanatan Jagat, devoting to his own personal area, and which is a new media platform, and which is introducing the wisdom of Sanatan Bharat from the first principles to the seekers. So, एक karmic परिचय दादा का, and in his spiritual life, in his personal life, he is the disciple of Jagat Guru Puru Shankaracharya, Swami Nishchalanand Ji Maharaj, in whose name the tradition of Adi Shankaracharya, the four pithas, we all know, is being carried out. So with this brief introduction, I would request Dada to take over and carry on this. And we just try to put up the whole timeline factor over here in this small creative. कि अगर हम सनातन बोल रहे हैं, तो our sense of time in our Hindu pantheon, in our Sanatan pantheon, is so very infinite. It is Sanatan in its own sense. So it's such a vast universe that we can get some foundations from ours, because that is what we are lacking as a young generation, and our educators and young students have to really get a hang of it all. If we go to Israel, every student over there is really imbued. He is really oriented to the Jewish, the Moses, the entire foundations of the Jewish universe. Similarly, in the Christian countries. So the civilizational education is so very important. And that's why we felt that if we have to really advance on the frontiers of future, I think we have to go back and take a deep dive into our own very civilizational foundations. And what better, and our civilizational foundations are nothing but the Sanatan Dharma. And that is what is the original identity of the Indian nationalism. That is the identity of ours in Bharatvarsha. So over to Shashank Dada to address this session and how he plans to, because today is an inaugural session, he will draw the blueprints of it. And over to the maestro, Dada. You have to unmute yourself. Yeah. You have to unmute. Yeah.
Yeah, welcome all of you to this very innovative program that Raghavji has planned. And I was told only last evening that we might try this, and we were initially thinking of starting it on a Wednesday or a Thursday or a Friday. You know, we were in the weekday paradigm. So I suggested that let's get out of this weekday paradigm. COVID has already thrown us out of it to a great extent. So at home, my people, they often forget whether it's a Sunday or a Tuesday. So that's the kind of situation that prevails in life today. But what we must not forget, and we do not forget, is the uh, the concept called tithi.
Mhm.
So every day, irrespective of what weekday it is, has a specific combination of sun and moon. And depending on that, there is a calculation of tithi. And there are 4 tithis which are supposed to be very sacred for all Sanatan people. And those 4 are 2 Ekadashis, the Amavasya and the Purnima. Now, the importance, the relevance of this, we often know that the tides of the sea are entirely dependent on the movements of these celestial bodies. So we'll not discuss that today. We will not restrict ourselves to that. But I suggested that let's do it on either Ekadashis or on Purnima and Amavasya. So that we have a different flavor of attunement to nature. You know, I don't get attuned to a Wednesday, but I do get attuned to an Amavasya or a Purnima. That's the kind of thought from which I suggested it, and he was kind enough to accept. But then I realized that the time was too short for us to prepare and organize and start. But we decided that we will do it. Let even be it with some glitches, but we would do it. So while doing it, it's a tradition in Bharat that for all events that are done with the intent of doing Loka Kalyan, there is a process called Mangalacharan. That Mangalacharan must be done by every participant, whether it's me or Raghavji or Dr. Sharma or Madam Usha or any other person watching this. There's some Mangalacharan to be done, so that the result of all this effort eventually is Mangal. Okay. So I would request that I may be given the screen sharing facility.
Okay,
So
sure. I'll just stop the sharing. I've given you the screen sharing. Tada.
this is the beginning of a book which has been written by Puri Shankaracharya Ji Maharaj, and it is acclaimed as the essence of Sanatana. What we are discussing exactly that same thing, same subject is contained in this book. I would be sharing with Raghavji, who can then subsequently share it with everybody. My strong recommendation that this is a book which everyone in the family should read, should understand, should inculcate. Okay, so now I'm moving to the Mangalacharan itself. I would request all of you to recite with me if possible. If not possible, at least read it mentally. It will do a lot of good. So Shri Harihi, Shri Ganeshaya Namaha, Mangalacharan, Narayana Akhila Guru Bhagavan Namaste. Now this is something which, yeah, please. Okay, so this is something that we often hear, but we do not know the source. We hear it on various occasions, especially the Dharmacharyas, when they start any discussion, they talk about this, Narayana Akhila Guru Bhagavan Namaste. It comes from Srimad Bhagavat, Skanda 8, 3:32, 8:3:32. The meaning is, Hey Jagat Guru, Prabhu Narayan, Aapko Namaskar. Now, why we do this Namaskar to Narayan is something that we will discover over the discussions that we have in the next few sessions. Then, Kling Namo Varadaya Vigna Hartre. This is not a very common Mangalacharan, but this comes from Ganesh Purva Tapilya Upanishad, a very lesser known Upanishad. It's a small Upanishad. So what it says is Sachidananda Swarup Varadata Vignaharta Shri Ganesh Ko Namaskar. So Ganesh otherwise is Pratham Pujya, but we start our Mangalacharan with Narayana Akhila Guru Bhagavan Namaste, and then we move on to Klim Namo Varadaya Vignaharta. Then comes Sarvas Taratu Durgani Sarvo Bhadrani Pashyatu. This is from the Shanti Parv of Mahabharata, 327:48. Incidentally, I would like to point out here that Mahabharata, Anushashan Parv, Shanti Parv, Karna Parv, all these are full of philosophical, spiritual, adhyatmic precepts, as well as something which brings विज्ञान, आध्यात्म और व्यवहार, इन तीनों का सामंजस्य लाने के लिए महाभारत के इन पर्वों का बहुत बड़ा महत्व है. हम देखेंगे उसको आगे. वो कहते हैं सब संकट से पार हो, सब सर्वविध कल्याण को प्राप्त. The matter to be noted here is that we are not talking about prosperity. समृद्धि की बात नहीं कर रहे, हम कल्याण की बात. That is the basic difference of and effectiveness of Sanatana Dharma. What is kalyan for a newborn child? What is kalyan for an about to die old person? All that is different from what is samriddhi for a newborn child. What is vikas for a newborn child? Or what is vikas for an old man who is about to die? Or for that matter, what is vikas for a person who is inflicted with or infected with COVID and is unsure of his survival? At that time, do we talk of kalyan or do we talk of samriddhi? We talk of kalyan. Okay, so I'm just leaving this, parking this subject because this is one of the most interesting subjects to discuss regarding Sanatana. Namo Vasisthaya Mahabrataya Parasharam Vedanidhim Namasye. Namo अस्त्वन्नन्ताय महोरगाय नमोस्तु सिद्धेभ्य इहाक्षयेभ्य नमो अस्त ऋषिभ्यः परमं परेशां देवेषु देवं वरदं वराणां सहस्रशीर्षाय नमः शिवाय सहस्रनामाय जनार्दनाय. This is from Anushasan Parv 150:10-11. महाव्रतधारी वशिष्ठ को नमस्कार. Now we know that Vasisht was the basic force behind what happened during Mahabharata as well as Ramayana. Ved Nidhi Parashar ko namaskar. Now he is a Ved Nidhi. Now these titles that have been given to the rishis, they have a lot of meaning. And unfortunately, I don't know how many people generally even know that who was Parashar, and that he was Vednidhi, and that he is worshipped because of that. So Dev Vednidhi Parashar ko namaskar. These are points which all of us can explore to learn the foundations of Sanatana Dharma. All things will not be probably good to be given in a platter. It is good to try to find out. I also found out all this after my checkered career in banking and technology. So I would sincerely suggest the kind of satisfaction you get when you actually assimilate the meanings and the import of it, you get a lot of satisfaction. विशाल सर्प रूपधारी शेष संज्ञक अनंत को नमस्कार. कौन है अनंत? वो हैं जो सर्व रूपधारी शेष संज्ञक है, शेषनाथ. अक्षय सिद्धगण को नमस्कार है. ऋषि विंद को नमस्कार है. परात्पर देवादिदेव वरदाता परमेश्वर को नमस्कार है. सहस्र सिर वाले शिव को नमस्कार है. और सहस्र नाम धारण करने वाले जनार्दन को नमस्कार. तो हमने सभी पंचदेवताओं को इसमें जोड़ लिया. पंचदेवताओं का क्या महत्व है वो भी हम आगे, आज नहीं किसी और दिन के सेशन में उस बारे में बात करें. यस्मिन् सर्वं यतः सर्वं यः सर्वं सर्वतश्च यः यश्च सर्वमयो नित्यं तस्मै सर्वात्मने नमः. ये दिस इज फ्रॉम महाभारत शांति पर. जिसमें सब सन्निहित है, जिससे सब समुत्पन्न होता है, जो स्वयं सर्वरूप है, जो सर्व दिशाओं में संव्याप्त है, जो सदा सर्वमय है, उस सर्वाधिष्ठान सर्वरूप सर्वात्मा को नमस्कार. Now here there is a very important concept of Sanatana Dharma which is being introduced. It says जिसमें सब सन्निहित है. So the one in whom everything rests, everything lies in that entity. But from whom everything arises. So everything that arises from him also gets assimilated. So there is this popular concept that God is a maker, but he is not a matter. That is why when I touch something physical, I don't see God in that, because God is not the matter. God is the maker. So the earth is not God, but God is the maker of earth. That is the popular concept of Vaisheshiks, Naiyayiks, and so many other sects, and of course the other religions in the world. None of them consider the God to be both the maker and the matter. But it is only in Sanatan Dharma that we understand, realize, and follow the concept that God is both the maker and the matter. Now, I will give you an example which my Gurudev gives very often. If there is a loudspeaker or there is a laptop here, on which I am working right now, all of you are working in some kind of a device. Now, whatever components have been used to create that device, okay, those components are not the maker of that device. That maker is someone else. He is sitting somewhere in some factory. Okay, he is assembling. He is creating it. He is the maker. But he himself cannot become a device. He cannot become a device. Device cannot become the maker. But in our Sanatan Dharma, it has been established and proven that God is both the maker and the matter. So I'll rest this subject also, park it for a further elaborate discussion on another day. So जिसमें सब सन्निहित है और जिसमें से सब समुत्पन्न होता है, जो स्वयं सर्वरूप हैं, जो सर्व दिशाओं में संव्याप्त हैं, spread across all directions, जो सदा सर्वमय है. So you see, I am not सर्वमय, right? But through me, he is सर्वमय. He is सर्वमय through me, through Raghav, through Ushaji, through Dr. Sharma, through everybody who is participating in it. He is सर्वमय. But individually, all of us are not सर्वमय. So that's the difference. उस सर्वाधिष्ठान सर्वरूप सर्वात्मा को नमस्कार. Now, why we pray to him? Why we worship him? Because he is something that I cannot become. He can become me, but I cannot become him. Okay. But he has given us by way of Srishti and Upasana, Dharma, Yajna, Dan, etc. He has given us a path to become one with him. So that is called moksha. So we will again discuss this later in today's discussion itself. Namapite cha madhuram madhuram swarupam karmapite cha madhuram madhura smritischa buddhim prabodhaya prabho madhubuddha shaktim vidyam prayacha paramam paribhavayam. Now this is there's one saint called Sri Mastakam Swami from the Himalayas who has written it, and it's a very impressive verse. हे प्रभो, आपका स्वरूप मधुर है और आपका नाम भी मधुर है तथा आपका कर्म भी मधुर है एवं आपकी स्मृति भी मधुर है. आप मेरी बुद्धि को प्रबोधित, आप मुझे सर्व जीव नियामक, सर्व कर्म तथा सर्व कर्म फल विधायक, प्रणवार्थ स्वरूप, रसवर्षक एवं रसरूप मधु की बोध शक्ति रूपा परा विद्या प्रदान. तो अल्टीमेटली मुझे परा विद्या की आवश्यकता है. मैं आपकी परिभावना करता हूँ. And then finally from Shiv Puran Rudra Samhita, Jagatah Pitaram Sambhu Jagato Mataram Shivam Tat Putrascha Ganadisham Nat Tatvaitat Dvarnayamyaham जगत पिता शिव को तथा जगन माता पार्वती को और उनके पुत्र गणेश को नमन कर निगमागम सार सर्वस्व अभिमत सिद्धांत का मैं वर्णन कर रहा हूँ. Now this is where the author of the book, the initiator of the day's work, the student, the parents, the teachers, the regulators, the administrators, the policy makers, everyone must start at this point. So this is something that we should be applying ourselves to, reciting at least once in the morning. At least once in the morning. You do it for some time, like you go for a morning walk, or you go for a physical training session, you go for a adhyatmic training session where only this much. I am not saying that you go into Vedas and Upanishads and Puranas. Don't go into that right now, but start with this. You will find the energy that is given to you by yourself, not by others. Energy given to you by yourself would sustain you throughout those initiatives which you start. Okay. So, and I also pray that this initiative that Raghavji has started may get the desired energy, blessings of the Pancha Devata to get completed. I would request Raghavji to share the video that I had sent across.
Sure. I will just.
ठीक, बैठिए. सनातन शब्द का अर्थ होता है सदा रहने वाला, और धर्म उसके साथ लगा है. विशेषण विशेष भाव है वह सनातन धर्म. हर देश में, हर काल में, हर परिस्थिति में, हर व्यक्ति के लिए जिसकी उपयोगिता अकुंठित हो, उसका नाम सनातन धर्म है. सनातन परमात्मा के निश्वास भूत जो वेद और वेद सम्मत शास्त्र, उनके माध्यम से जो धर्म का स्वरूप प्राप्त है, जिसका आलंबन लेकर ममई वांशो जीवलोके जीवभूत सनातन, भगवान का सनातन अंश सरीखा जीवात्मा अपने मौलिक स्वरूप को, वास्तव स्वरूप को, भगवत तत्व को, ब्रह्म तत्व को या परमात्मा तत्व को प्राप्त कर सके, उसका नाम सनातन धर्म है. धर्म शब्द की निरुक्ति महाभारत के कर्ण पर्व में, शांति पर्व में, मत्स्य पुराण में इस प्रकार है. धारणात् धर्म. धर्म के दो भेद हैं. एक भूत कोटि का, भूत माने सिद्ध, मीमांसा कहते हैं भव्यम भूताय, और दोनों का तालमेल है. धारक तत्व का नाम धर्म है. तो सबके अधिष्ठान स्वरूप कौन है? भगवान. उनके बिना किसी भी अनात्म वस्तु को सत्ता, चित्ता, प्रियता प्राप्त ही नहीं हो सकती. जैसे मृत्तिका के बिना मृद घट को न सत्ता प्राप्त हो सकती है, न उपयोगिता ही. ऐसे सबके धारक भगवान का नाम विष्णु सहस्रनाम में पदार्थ को भी धर्म कहते हैं. मैं एक उदाहरण देता हूँ. चरक संहिता के अनुसार पृथ्वी की सत्ता और उपयोगिता कब तक है? जब तक उसमें गंध नाम का निसर्ग सिद्ध गुण धर्म प्रतिष्ठित है. जल कब तक है? जब तक उसमें रस नाम का निसर्ग सिद्ध गुण धर्म प्रतिष्ठित है। तेज तेज कब तक है? जब तक उसमें रूप नाम का निसर्ग सिद्ध गुण धर्म प्रतिष्ठित है। वायु वायु कब तक है? जब तक उसमें स्पर्श नाम का निसर्ग सिद्ध गुण धर्म प्रतिष्ठित है। आकाश आकाश कब तक है? जब तक उसमें शब्द नाम का निसर्ग सिद्ध गुण धर्म प्रतिष्ठित है। यह सिद्ध कोटि का धर्म हुआ। अगर आग से दाहकता प्रकाशकता को कर्षित कर ले तो अग्नि अग्नि रह जाए, संभव नहीं है। साध्य कोटि का धर्म है यज्ञ दान तप इत्यादि, जिसकी सिद्धि अनुष्ठान से होती है, उसका नाम धर्म है। आपके जीवन में दिव्य धर्म उसको कहते हैं जिसका होता है कि भगवत प्राप्ति का, परम धर्म परमात्मा तत्व की प्राप्ति का मार्ग प्रशस्त होता है। तो दार्शनिक, व्यावहारिक और वैज्ञानिक तीनों धरातल पर जिसकी उपयोगिता हर देश में, हर काल में, हर परिस्थिति में, हर व्यक्ति के लिए चरितार्थ, उसी का नाम धर्म है। जिसके बिना जीवन की सार्थकता ही संभव नहीं है, उसी का नाम धर्म है। आगे
Okay, so I am not sure that all of us would have followed and understood everything that he spoke, for two reasons. One, he speaks in a language in which we are generally not trained. And secondly, because there was some internet connectivity issue which prevented a smooth playout of the video. So the first thing to understand about Sanatana Dharma, as per his statement, Sanatan is an adjective. That we must understand. Sanatan is an adjective. And those thoughts, concepts, etc., which have a date when it started or when it was invented, are not Sanatan because they are not eternal. Sanatan is eternal. That is the adjective it is. And dharma is what makes every existence meaningful. Anything which exists must become meaningful in the scheme of things. That is why Srishti has been done. And this dharma can be of two categories. Let us not talk about puja, upasana, yajnatan right now. Let us talk about the siddha dharma. Siddha dharma. Why do you take food? You take food because you have the faith, the astha, that eating the food, your hunger will be met with. And eating the food, you will get the nourishment that is desired. This astha makes you take the food. Why do I drink water? Because I am having firm belief, astha, that by drinking water, my Krishna will be satisfied. Okay, so these are the naisargic dharma of these elements. So when this naisargic dharma is taken away, if water does not satisfy thirst, then will it remain water? That's what he is asking in that.
Okay.
If food does not give nourishment, will it remain food?
Mhm.
That is what he is asking. If fire does not burn, will it remain fire? If air does not touch you, स्पर्श नहीं करता है, तो क्या वो वायु रहेगा? If Akash does not have shabd, voice, sound, then will it remain Akash? So these are not, they have got nothing to do with Bhagavad Puja or anything of that sort. These are plain, simple facts of life. Everybody born on this earth gets its birth in the earth. Everybody who dies and goes into the earth. So there is nothing Bhagwan like that in this. It is a simple, natural principle which we have to understand, that water is water because of its ras. Prithvi is Prithvi because of its gandh.
Mhm.
We have to understand that fire is fire because of its dahak shakti and prakashak shakti. That is, it burns and it also publishes. It helps you with seeing. It puts light on objects.
So properties are first, and then you are ascribing nouns to them.
Correct.
That is the Sanatan paradigm, probably.
Right.
Mhm.
So
Because
there is
Abhi-
one part is this, that there is a property.
Hmm.
I am ascribing a noun to it,
Mhm.
and then I am correlating those properties and its realization through my Panchendriya.
Okay, so it is experiential. It is
It is
not
ex-
that something which can be imposed upon.
No,
Hmm.
everybody has to
Hmm.
experience.
Mhm.
So if there are 5 elements, and these elements are known as sources of energy.
Okay.
All of these elements are sources of energy.
Mhm.
Earth gives all the vegetation, everything that we need for food and other things is a source of energy. Water is a source of energy.
Okay. Okay.
Fire is a source of energy. Air is a source of energy. Sound is a source of energy.
If I can be a bit utilitarian in this,
We should be.
I'm saying this is the paradigm by which our foundational education has to be met with. Because
Correct.
something if I can experience, because अभी अगर disconnect है बहुत ज़्यादा, मतलब हम लोग थोपी हुई बातों को मानते हैं, जानते नहीं हैं.
हाँ,
A brand is imposed upon, a particular thought process is imposed upon, and ecosystem ऐसा है कि हम लोग प्रश्न नहीं कर सकते हैं.
नहीं कर
We cannot question कि why it is so. I think this is lovely. This is fantastic, and I think I would intervene over here because एक utilitarian perspective जिसमें हम सभी आ चुके हैं आज, कि this is the utilitarian perspective of Sanatan Dharma, and this is why we have taken up the essentials of Sanatan Dharma. This is special program on Purnima and Amavasya. Dada has taken out his time for this thing so that we can really see through the distinction between the pedagogy which we are imposing upon today and what we had for a long period of time. Lovely. Please.
and we still have.
We still have it.
The point is, we still have it, but we do not have the social wisdom
Mhm.
to continue to understand it, continue to propagate it, continue to hand it over to the next generations.
Mhm.
We are breaking our parampara.
And a lot of taboos have been instilled into the larger social atmosphere. Ki the moment you speak about it, it's like something outcast, something that's a kind of ecosystem which has been generated.
No, you are made to feel and you are made to be thought as an intellectually inferior person.
Mhm.
I mean, if somebody is listening to me, one would be thinking that this is in inverted quotes, this is a moron speaking. That's
Mhm.
the language they use. Okay, but I don't care. I don't care. The fact remains. What is the
सर मेरा
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
निवेदन था सर मेरा
Rajesh Sharma, sir, please,
जी
please. Yeah, yeah.
सर मेरा एक निवेदन ये था कि क्योंकि मैं टीचर हूँ और अभी एक स्कूल में प्रिंसिपल भी हूँ, तो ये जो सनातन धर्म की बात मैं अपने स्कूल में कर ही नहीं सकता, क्योंकि अगर मैं वो करता हूँ तो मुझे एक धार्मिक उन्मादी माना जाएगा।
Correct, you are correct. So that is why I
और
said that we will not focus on the upasana, jap, tap, dhyan, ityadi.
That's
that
why,
is
Dr. Sharma, the purpose is to break this taboo. I tell you, I give you my personal example. When at IIT Kharagpur, we started the Students Forum for India's Heritage. When we conducted the first lecture and we talked about the India's heritage per se, even from the material count, uh, uh, all these labels were thrown upon us. But then we engaged with them. We took the bull by the horns because इस भारतवर्ष में शास्त्रार्थ की एक विशद परंपरा है. बोले क्या तुम हिंदू धर्म को प्रमोट कर रहे हो? मैंने कहा 632 एडी के पहले what was that? Let's come to history. Let's come to facts. The only thing is defending Sanatan Dharma. We have to have deeper anchorings into it, moorings into it. We have to adopt approaches like Dada has said very beautifully, Mendeleev's periodic table. Fine. The moment we teach in chemistry class the Mendeleev's 105 or 108 elements, at that point itself we can intertwine over there that in the elemental aspect, see, there is a lot of Disney content which is being proliferated in the Hotstar has been bought over by the Disney studios, right? They have a children movie of Elsa and Anna, and those people are able to only decipher 4 elements. And they are not able to understand the 5th element, like the whole challenge of soul. Like in the Western view, animals don't have soul. And what beautifully Shashank Dada has mentioned that the maker and the matter. So this is a kind of a discourse which we have just started off under the Rethink India tutelage, and we want to carry it forward in a more engaging fashion. I think because एक धारणा हम लोगों को एक पंगु बना दिया गया है कि अगर आप माथे पे टीका लगा के आ रहे हो और शिखा बंधन कर रहे हो और धोती पहन के आ रहे हो और क्रॉस लेग आके बैठ रहे हो, अभी तो 7वां इंटरनेशनल योगा है, बट उससे पहले कुर्सी पे अगर आलती पालती मारकर अगर आप बैठे हो, भोजन कर रहे हो, मेरुदंड को सीधा कर रहे हो, तो लोग समझते थे असभ्य है. तो गांधी जी ने जो बात कही कि सभ्य वेश में, उनका एक आर्टिकल हम लोग पढ़ा करते थे कक्षा 5 में, तो उन्होंने कहा कि भाई ये सूट पतलून पहन के सभ्य माना जा रहा है, but this is anti-nature. So somewhere or the other, I think we need to have the content and the confidence, and that's why this entire Essentials of Sanatan Dharma, we felt like, and we have put it under the School for Future, and we will be really asking probing questions. We will be creating a lot of infographics, and we would be contextualizing the whole narrative in the contemporary context, and that is so very relevant. कि भाई where a सूक्ष्म वायरस ने आके, I come from another, कि जब पिछली बार ये कोविड वायरस आया तो प्रोफेसर संपादानंद मिश्रा, who is one of the very avid Sanskritist, he has joined the Rashtraam School for Public Leadership. He brought about an article from the mother, और मदर ने ये कहा कि 1919 में वो जापान में थी और तब ये जो स्पेनिश प्लेग फैला 100 साल पहले, तो उन्होंने साधना में उस वायरस की आत्मा से साक्षात्कार किया, बिकॉज उनकी दृष्टि में, उनकी यौगिक दृष्टि में तो ये जो एस्ट्रल साइंसेस है, इनफैक्ट the other day we were doing the healing forum where all the greatest savants from the medical field were there, and we talked about the integrative and preventive healing कि एलोपैथी प्लस आयुष्य की बात अगर हम कर रहे हैं, तो इनफैक्ट वन ऑफ द डॉयंस ऑफ from All India Institute of Medical Sciences, Professor Y.K. Gupta, he said that there is no need to go to the molecular level in every research field. This is not required. So we talk about evidences. अभी दादा भी बताएंगे सनातन पैराडाइम में कि शब्द प्रमाण की कितनी बड़ी वैल्यू है. How? Because this body is also a transmitter. अगर एक छोटा सा स्मार्टफोन can bring in so much of communications out there, so our index explode. That how much depth we have, and these sciences we have somehow lost because of the colonial juxtaposition. So Sanatan Dharma has to be presented both from a historical context. It's a culmination of it all. And I think this is a journey, a first step forward, but we are confident enough and we can take any question. And sir, from your school, probably some of the most naughty ones, let they come in this session, which will be on Purnima and Amavasya. And I am damn confident that Dada, from his vantage point, he can answer all of it all. So
it's absolutely, you know, so impressive. I must thank you, Dr. Raghav, कि दादा के दर्शन हुए और जो ज्ञान है जो, और मैं ये मानता हूँ हमारी ऐसा नहीं दादा, हम गायत्री मंत्र से शुरू करते हैं ओम उच्चारण के साथ में, लेकिन उसके लिए हमने हिम्मत की है, डरे नहीं। तो वही है कि क्या हम संध्या को ला सकते हैं स्कूल में, हमारे जो अंग्रेजी मीडियम के स्कूल हैं, क्या हम उसमें संध्या का उनको ज्ञान कराएं बच्चों को?
देखिए आज जो राघव जी ने भी बताया कि सनातन जगत एक वीडियो चैनल, यूट्यूब चैनल मैंने जो चलाया हुआ है, आज ही संध्या के ऊपर एक वीडियो उसमें डाला है, और दैट वीडियो इज बाय अ पर्सन who is hardly 24, but he is a completely trained Vedic Brahman. Okay, and he has explained in such beautiful words. I cannot explain it as well as he has done. But I'll tell you one thing, like Dr. Sharma said, that if I go and start telling this in school, I will be called a terrorist kind of a thing. Okay. I'll tell. You can note down if you want. There is a YouTube channel called Govardhan Mutt. Okay. This is the official YouTube channel of Puri Shankaracharya. There are about 3,500 videos. 3,500 videos of all kinds of length and all kinds of depth and all kinds of subjects. When you listen to it, you will realize he has gone to BARC, Bhava Atomic Research Center. He has gone to ISRO. He has gone to Bar Club Supreme Court. He has gone to Bar Club Allahabad High Court. He has gone to so many other institutions, including an institution like JNU. Okay. He has gone there, given lectures of 1 hour, 1.5 hours on various topics. In JNU, he spoke about education. In BARC, he spoke about science. He is one of the rarest kind of intellect so far as mathematics is concerned. So if you listen to him on mathematics, you will forget all the mathematics teachers you have heard in your life. So he says that when truth is with you and you are standing on truth, there cannot be any opposition. Nobody has opposed him. Nobody has opposed him. Second thing, he is around 76, 77, and he took sannyas at the age of 60, and he has moved around the whole of India like our Adi Shankaracharya on his on feet, not by vehicles. He has walked around from Himalaya to Rameshwaram. He has walked. And he walked because he wanted to save Ramasetu. Okay, so that's a different subject altogether. So what he says is that if you are standing on truth, and if truth is with you, nobody will oppose you. Even he's gone to ISRO, where there are Hindu scientists, Christian scientists, Muslim scientists. Nobody opposed him. Many of the Muslim people, in fact, in this Kumbh itself, there was a Muslim person from Bangalore who came and asked him a very, very surprising kind of question. He asked him that I am a Muslim. I cannot become a Brahmin. He knows it, that he cannot become a Brahmin. So he says, is there a way that I can become a sannyasi? And Gurudev told him that you cannot become a sannyasi. You can do some tapasya, you can do some upasana, you can do some bhajan, kirtan, etc. But in this life, in this body, you will not be able to become a Brahmin, nor will you be able to become a sannyasi. There was no objection, there was no resistance, there was no abuse. The point is, we must tell the truth like it is.
True.
I'll tell you how truth is like it is. Okay. पृथ्वी, पृथ्वी का गुण क्या है? गंध, राइट?
जी,
पृथ्वी से गंध हटा दीजिए, कुछ बचेगा? नहीं बचेगा। क्या बचेगा? वो जल में परिवर्तित हो जाएगा।
Wow. This is, and Dada, I would say that ये जो आपने चमकाया है, this is what, see, the whole evolutionary sciences, what these from the Western paradigm, whatever they are trying, it is so very difficult to decipher, and it is so organic and very easy to see the continuum.
That is the point. अब जल का क्या गुण है? रस। रस में कोई गंध नहीं होता है, जल में कोई गंध नहीं होता है, जल में कभी गंध नहीं होता है। तो जल में से आप अगर रस हटा देंगे तो क्या बचेगा? अग्नि।
ये तो कभी सोचा ही नहीं सर।
यही तो मैं कह रहा हूँ, इसके आगे कौन क्या बोलेगा? कौन पंडित आएगा हमें समझाने कि नहीं अग्नि नहीं बनेगा? अग्नि में से प्रकाशक और दाहक का गुण हटा दीजिए तो क्या बनेगा? वायु।
वायु, बिल्कुल। हवा रह जाएगी,
है?
हवा रह जाएगी खाली।
और उस वायु में से स्पर्श हटा दीजिए तो क्या बचेगा? आकाश। ये है एसेंशियल सनातन धर्म। आकाश
It's 21 hours.
अच्छा, टाइम हो रहा है डॉक्टर आकाश, मेरे ख्याल में ना 21
Yeah,
hours।
so we are just closing. Yeah, this was,
not a problem। I think वो दादा का कुछ नेटवर्क प्रॉब्लम हुआ।
yeah, कुछ थोड़ा सा है वो। He will be just coming in, yeah.
But I must congratulate you. It's fantastic, and I think we have to bring it in.
Yeah. So दादा ने जो बताया, हम लोग, in fact, I tell you, Dada has been asking me. He was there at the Environment Forum on the World Environment Day, और मैंने स्पेशली उनसे कहा कि पंच तत्व की व्याख्या सनातन अधिष्ठान से वो करें, और दादा has been asking कि do an infographic on that, and still we have not been able to model it across because जो voluminosity है, see, आकाश is the most spread out, पर उसके अंदर तत्व सबसे कम हैं, तो we were trying to have the most.
दादा was telling आकाश, आकाश आप कुछ कह रहे थे दादा, आकाश के बाद।
उसके बाद में ये बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग है, इसको बोल के फिर हम लोग विराम लेंगे।
जी।
वायु, जल, अग्नि और वायु, ये तीनों चंचल तत्व हैं, बहुत चंचल है। ठीक है, एग्रीड?
जी बिल्कुल।
जल चंचल है, अग्नि चंचल है, वायु चंचल। उस चंचलता को धारण करने के लिए अपेक्षाकृत कम चंचल पृथ्वी है। पृथ्वी चलमान है, मगर जल, अग्नि और वायु जितना चंचल नहीं है। ओके, तो ये हो गया पृथ्वी का स्थान। और इस पूरे चीज को धारण करने के लिए सबसे स्थिर आकाश है।
बिल्कुल।
तो मैं आपको ये बता सकता हूँ, मैंने भी मतलब 70s से पढ़ाई की, सारी जिंदगी टॉप ग्रेड साइंटिस्ट्स और लोगों के साथ काम किया। मैंने ये सब कॉन्सेप्ट लोगों को समझते हुए कभी देखा नहीं। तृष्णा मिटाने के लिए पानी पीना जरूरत है, अल्कोहल नहीं। ये बात समझने के लिए तत्व ज्ञान होना बहुत जरूरी है, पंचभूत पंच तत्वों का ज्ञान होना बहुत जरूरी है। तो ये हमारा सनातन धर्म का पहला सोपान है। अगर हमने सिद्ध धर्म को समझ लिया तो साध्य धर्म को समझने में कोई दिक्कत नहीं होगी। क्या क्या लगेगा उसमें? आप पूजा करने बैठते हैं तो आप क्या क्या लगाते हैं? एक दिया जलाते हैं, एक धूप जलाते हैं, गंध, फूल लगाते हैं, वो भी गंध है, दिया लगाते हैं, पानी देते हैं, प्रसाद देते हैं, आकाश आपके चारों तरफ है ही है, अग्नि, जल, वायु, आकाश और पृथ्वी, पांचों के समन्वय से ही पूजा होता है।
बिल्कुल।
इसके अतिरिक्त पूजा हो ही नहीं सकता। जहां आप करने का प्रयास करेंगे आपका पूजा अपूर्ण रह जाएगा।
The circuit will not get complete.
Anything will not get complete. शंख क्यों बजाएंगे, घंटी क्यों बजाएंगे, राइट? तो ये जो समन्वय है सिद्ध के साथ साध्य धर्म का, जो समन्वय है, ये हमारा जीवन शैली होना चाहिए। मैं उन सब झगड़ों में नहीं पढ़ना चाहता, हिंदू वे ऑफ लाइफ एक्सेट्रा एक्सेट्रा। आई एम आस्किंग, डू यू अंडरस्टैंड द 5 एलिमेंट्स? Very simple question.
Great, sir, great.
So that is what Shashank Dada is all about, and this is what and how we will cover the essentials of Sanatan Dharma. And our whole purpose is to lay the academic foundations of it all from first principles. बहुत ज्यादा जो आज का politicization है, जो उसका controversy aspect है, we will not delve into it. We will really go from a very, very elemental perspective which Dada has presented. And I think that is the daring, that is the roaring. We have been thinking about doing it for a long time. But we felt now it is the time, and today, what an auspicious day. Today is the Snan Purnima of Jagannath. So आज ये प्रारंभ हुआ है। दादा, next अमावस्या का कौन सा, when will be the next session? We can declare.
I will let you know.
Okay, perfect.
वो देखना पड़ेगा कि मतलब सूर्योदय किस दिन में मिल रहा है। अमावस्या भी तो अक्रॉस डेज होता है ना, तो सूर्योदय जिस दिन मिलेगा उस दिन करेंगे।
True.
So I think we will stop now because
मैं बहुत धन्यवाद, प्रणाम और चरण स्पर्श आपको।
अरे नहीं, मेरे गुरु जी को बस।
So
thank you, Raghav
जी दादा, प्रणाम।
So I'll leave.
Yeah, we will close today and take it on Amavasya, which is coming next. तो कम से कम we will have a hang of it कि आज पूर्णिमा है, आज अमावस्या है। एकादशियों को शायद कुछ सत्रों के बाद हम लोग समझ पाएंगे।
So what I suggest is that if there are many people who have attended, I don't know how many have attended, if they have got questions, they can park it with you so that on the next session we can try to address those questions. Also seek some kind of consensus on what are the topics that they would like to discuss about. I have discussed what I thought was the most important and closest to my heart, because this is something that nobody discusses, but this is something that everybody uses. All of us use all the.
In our parampara, you decide upon what you think out of your, because see, it is such a vast universe, we just cannot cover everything.
Okay, that's
so the
fine.
way you have done it, let it go. And what I feel is let this content emanate. What we are going to do in the next 15 days is we will create this Mangalacharan into attractive creatives, so that this Mangalacharan becomes a part of this and people have flashcards or things. We have to revitalize the content. We have to make it more contemporary that way. और जो तत्व की बात आपने कही, because ये जो डेटा पॉइंट्स है, जो कीवर्ड्स हैं, हम कोई नया विषय वस्तु पढ़ते हैं तो उसकी कीवर्ड्स पहले समझते हैं. तो सनातन धर्म के एसेंशियल्स में हम किसी, आपने जो साध्य धर्म की बात कही, अभी हम वो नया अगला चरण है, पर जो सिद्ध है, व्हाट इज व्यापक, तो उसको we will try to champion in these 15 days. A lot of homework you have given it to us in this small session, because इतने सारे terms हैं, और the way the referencing is there. This is the parampara of Shankaracharya, कि he doesn't say that. That is why Sanatan is a continuum, कि हर जगह हर ग्रंथ का reference दिया गया है. This is annotation. What will be more scientific than this? Even the best of the scientific papers, we say they only teach us how to write, how to annotate, how to give reference. This we have, it has been happening in our parampara for a long time. Yes. Just because there was a eclipse of some years or something like that when we were fighting the other invasory forces. और आज एक दूसरा चैलेंज है कि आज एबरेशंस हैं. फर्स्ट प्रिंसिपल सनातन धर्म को प्रस्तुत नहीं कर रहे. लॉट ऑफ जो दादा ने कहा कि ट्रुथ एज इट इज.
बट राघव जी, एक चीज आप समझिए, ये एबरेशंस हैं तभी जब हम एक साधारण सी बात भी कहते हैं तो वो चमक जाता है.
इस डार्कनेस में वो लाइट आ जाती है. तो बहुत बहुत प्रणाम दादा. जय जगन्नाथ. इट्स अ डे, व्हाट अ डे एंड व्हाट अ inaugural session. It could not have been better. And we will try to have more people with enthusiasts like Dr. Sharma. He will take the lead and try to bring in some more people to get oriented. Thank you. Namaskar.
Thank you. Pranam.